I'm so glad you're here. This is my very, very first panel. I presented it or prepared it like it was a school presentation, so I hope that's okay. I'm going to try to make it as interesting as I can. So first of all, or anything else, hello, I am Nini. You probably know me by that name. I also go by Anina, my actual name. If you didn't already know me, hello. I am a streamer and artist, and I create content on a variety of platforms, and I'm also a student in the marketing field, particularly for a program called Online Content Creator, which is just another fancy term for a marketing career. So I wanted to tell you guys today about being a creator on the internet and to combine things that I learned on the internet itself and at school. I hope the numbers on screen can be a little bit of a proof of that I sort of know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so first things first, you guys probably noticed, but the internet has changed a lot. And something that someone said to me recently that I think is really interesting is back in the day, 2010s, right? A little bit before that, if you were on the internet a lot, you were probably kind of a weirdo in like the common person's eye, right? You're like, why are you on the internet all the time? That's weird, you know what I mean? But a lot has changed. Everything's gone more corporate, for better or for worse, depending on who you are. And there's also a lot of competition now, as you could say. So back in the day, I'm sure some of you might remember old YouTube. You could upload a video at 480p and it would go viral. If you uploaded that now, good luck getting maybe 100 views with that low quality. But that's probably a good testament to how much has changed over the years. Not to mention, the cleanliness of the modern arts and creation era. So I'm sure you're all familiar with the top creators right now and how overproduced everything is. The bar has moved significantly higher, and because of that, it's very intimidating to be an artist right now. Because of all those changes. It used to feel much more of a free space. Oh, just be who you are, and that's how you'll get views. No. Nowadays you need like $1,000 if you're about to invest in a major company or something. And that's how you get big on a platform like YouTube, very fast. If not, we're going to talk about how else to get there, hopefully. So here's my I almost said 5, oops. My 4 steps of becoming a creator. Now, I feel like back in the day, you could just kind of be in a fandom, be in a group, who remembers DeviantArt groups? With all the fun stamps on your profile, the glitters, the fan buttons, yeah. Nowadays, it's much more complicated. DeviantArt and Tumblr were like the art platforms, and now there's a lot. A lot has happened in the last week as well. Some of the things that I'm going to say may be outdated as a result of that. You'll see what I mean a little later. But the first one is going to be about where are you going to post. The second one is about thinking, who are you posting for? The third one is what kind of things are you going to make? And the last one is how often should you post? Alright, so first things first, where will you post? So like I said, back in the day you had, at least from my experience, you had DeviantArt and Tumblr for art. Those were kind of like the places to be. Maybe some blogs. I'm 25 by the way, so if I'm missing some older ones, I'm sorry, I probably didn't experience them. And nowadays, there's all of these. I'm going to switch between calling this X and Twitter. X because school, and everyone at school is very mean about calling it Twitter. Twitter is what I say at home. So it kind of spreads back and forth. Of course, Tumblr's still here, sort of. Blue Sky's here now, which by the way, if you don't have Blue Sky yet, make it right now. I am so serious. There were 1 million new people in 1 week, I'm pretty sure. So probably a good idea to get on that train when you still can. And of course, we have platforms like Derpy Brew, archiving. It's very important because something that all of these in the middle don't really have is archives. So that's something to consider as well. We're going to go over them a little better in this slide because they may feel similar in some way, especially for example with these, but they're not, and for their own reasons. For example, for Tumblr, if you like your art to be preserved and not drown in an algorithm somewhere, make a Tumblr account. Archives, mwah, splendid. Blue Sky, for example, is super fresh. Everyone is, or not everyone, but a lot of people are jumping on it right now, which is very important. And it's Bless the gods, it is not corporate. Yes, it is owned by people who seem to care about what they do, which is huge. And of course, X, Twitter, is also very important-ish. Less and less, to be fair. But something like Twitter has and Instagram as well, that you should consider is a user base. Because Tumblr is super nice and all, but who knows a normal person that uses Tumblr? Not a lot of people, right? So it's kind of hard to be found by just kind of, I enjoy art kind of people. So if that's your thing, Instagram, X might also be good for that. And I don't know about Blue Sky yet. Maybe in the future, slowly but surely. But something that these two have, which I think are really important, is the community sense. I'm not the smartest for Tumblr. I didn't grow up on it very closely. But from what I understand, if you want to like comment on stuff on Tumblr, you just reblog it and then say something instead of actually commenting on it, which is fine. But if you prefer to interact with people more, these two are probably your better friends. Because you can just reply and then be like, oh my god, thank you, that's so nice, which I think is always very nice to do. And of course, if you didn't know this, I'm going to tell you this right now, do not, and I say this so harshly, do not use random hashtags on Twitter. It will kill your post. I know that's so weird because like, oh, Twitter, hashtag Twitter, you know, like back in the day. No, that is no longer relevant. If you use hashtags for like, you know, like let's say you post pony art, you like hashtag My Little Pony. I don't know why, but the algorithm is like, ugh, get it out of here. However, for Blue Sky, always use hashtags. Not too many, but a few. Because apparently there's like separate feeds, and if you use hashtag MOP, it will appear on that feed, which is interesting. And for Tumblr, if you make fan art of any kind, Tumblr, always Tumblr, dude. Tumblr loves fan art, but if you make OC content, no. Okay, now this is the more stuff, but it's still very important. Platform conventions. Now, platform conventions are super different per platform. If you're in the marketing world, they will literally send you files with all the dimensions for every little thing. The banner, the profile picture, needs to be this by this and this quality and everything. For creatives, that might be like, doesn't everyone know that? No. So it's probably good to be aware of. And for example, for X, you can use images, GIFs. GIFs also work. Videos also work. For Blue Sky, videos are coming along right now, but a little slowly. I think it's 1 minute max. Instagram, if you have a landscape painting or drawing on Instagram, I am so sorry. That is not going to crop well. And also, of course, you know, there's not really a quality thing on Instagram. It's just kind of for people that are like, oh, that's nice. And they double tap and they keep scrolling, right? And then for Tumblr, if you love quality, Tumblr, always Tumblr. If you make beautiful backgrounds, if you're like assassin monkey levels of artists, post on things like Tumblr, I swear to God. And funnily enough, I was watching a Adobe Press, or what is it called, like a live stream about developments in the media world. Discord is growing under artists as a platform. And I think a really big reason for that, and I think it's the next slide, I hope. Yes. Is authentic interaction. Something we all yearn for more and more, according to research, is authenticity. Everyone is tired of corporations. And nowhere is that better visible than Blue Sky growing immensely right now. Discord getting bigger and bigger. People want to not just know what you make, but they want to know who you are. Because they want to feel some sort of connection to you. And I don't know if that's just a product of our current age, but it's very real, and it's probably something to know about. Instagram, for example, is going to, very soon, I believe, is going to release comments on your stories. For this exact reason, because they want to enforce authenticity. They want followers and creators to engage in that way. Like when I post the 100 food image on my story, someone might say, oh, that looks delicious, you know? Connection, I guess. And then something to also consider is who you make things for. Something that I've seen a lot of times is people that are really upset about, for example, a post that doesn't do well, or not seeming to gain followers no matter what they do. A big reason for this, usually, is that they have conflicting things on their profiles. Let's say you are a massive Pokemon fan, and you saw this artist that drew the most amazing Sylveon, I don't know Pokemon names, right? Sylveon, right? Oh, beautiful. And you go to their account, and it's all Minecraft art. Except for that one Sylveon. Would you follow them? Would you want to like, oh, there's one Pokemon art, so I'll like subscribe to all this Minecraft art in my timeline? Maybe. But the chance is much bigger than if you were to go to their account and it's all Pokemon. You're like, yes! Like, this is what I love. And you subscribe or follow or whatever, right? If you have multiple interests like that, don't be afraid to make multiple accounts. I know it sounds really maybe overwhelming, but it helps a lot. Back in the day, I used to draw Super Mario art and ponies. Not the greatest combo, and I was like, oh, why this post did so well? No one's following me. I wonder why. So that's, something to look for. And also, do you want to associate with the more risque or the very cutesy, innocent? Can be both. But, it's very good to consider where you stand. Now, here's a good example as well. I think these are often pretty close together in terms of fans. But, someone who loves one might not love the other. So if they see a bunch of awesome art and they go to your profile and it's all pony stuff, not ideal. And some people can also be really weird about it as well. Okay, and then more marketing terms. Woohoo! Something that is also very important is your tone of voice. How do you talk to your followers? How do you talk about your life? How do you talk about your day? Or maybe talk about controversial things. Some people don't do that at all, which I also don't like doing because, wow, it's almost like talking about very sensitive things on a platform with a very limited character count. It's not a great platform to have serious conversations on. Just an idea though. And also, how personal are you? Some people will post the most personal, intimate things on their social media accounts, right? They will post about personal life developments or post pictures of themselves, which is fine. Just be safe. And some people want to stay completely anonymous. Where do you stand? Where do you stand? I think that's also good to consider. And yeah, this one, opinionated. It is so beneficial, I'm saying that with giant quotes, beneficial to talk about things on social media. If you're on Twitter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If someone talks about something, you probably have no idea what they're talking about, but it's on there. And it's like, that's interesting. And you click on it and you start reading the replies. That's what Twitter wants. Don't do that. That's interaction based. Don't fall for it. Some people want that. I feel like if you do that, you might, this is my opinion, but you might attract some people that won't really support you for you. That's something to think about because we're in a very hostile environment recently online. And personally, my advice to you all, stay out of it. It is not worth it. It might seem sensational and like they're on my side, but if something happened to you, they just want to keep eating drama, so they'll back away. Now, how often do you post? Before you worry, I'm not saying you should post every day, like some YouTubers be like, oh, just love what you're doing, post every single day. No. If you want to post once a week, or once every 2 weeks, that's fine. But if you post 5 times in 1 week, and then just go quiet for 3 months, people are going to think you're dead. It is for the algorithm, not ideal, and also for your fans or followers, not ideal. If you make a lot of art in a short amount of time, scheduled posts are your best friend. Trust me. You can schedule posts, set to when they go online, stress off your shoulders. It is such a time relief. And also, the time of day is really important. Because I personally have a lot of American fans or followers. If I post at like 8 in the morning for me, there may be some night owls, of course, but a lot of people will not be awake yet. So things like that might be very important to consider as well. Okay. Here comes the part that I think everyone knows about, taking care of yourself on social media. Because Mamma mia, has it become very overwhelming to be on social media. The rage bait, the news that's everywhere, people with profile pictures that make you think, who the hell are you? Stuff like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, this might be a little controversial, block them. Block anyone. I am so serious. If someone kind of ticks you off, block them. Do you owe them an explanation? No, of course not. It's social media. It's not that deep. Okay, were you friends with them? Maybe think about it a little better then. Maybe talk to them, you know, stuff like that. But if you see stuff that ticks you off or an account that is very clearly rage baiting you, block them. Do not interact with them. Because like if you interact with it, Twitter's like, oh, you're interacting with this post? That means you like this post. Here's more, you know? So don't do that. And also muting words. Like, listen, there's a lot going on in the world constantly, right? And I feel like Twitter, Instagram are probably not the best places to always stay up to date with everything. So don't be afraid to mute certain things and keep that separate for a news website, you know, where it's meant to be at. Because seeing such horrible, horrible things on a daily basis is going to twist your sense of reality. I am so serious. And it's just going to make you feel like shit. It's just going to make you feel like shit. So for your own sake, if you notice this, mute things, block people. It's going to save you so much time. And then, of course, oh, wow, this is so appropriate for where we are right now. Finding your community is so important. In marketing terms, networking. Oh my goodness. It sounds really serious, right? You know, like LinkedIn is what I think of when I hear networking. It's not that serious. Sometimes just finding people that like the things you do and just kind of replying on their posts, because like we all love a like every now and then, right? Oh, awesome, a little red heart, ooh, dopamine. But if someone replies to you, being like, this is awesome, or this is amazing what you did, much better. And it makes someone's like entire day, 100%. And like, it's how you meet other people, because a like disappears, right? You have like a whole list of people that like your post, but if you comment, you're more there, right? You're visible. And it's a great way to just meet other creators like you, because, for example, I do streaming, right? And I have a lot of mutuals that are so talented at what they do. And I just want to let them know, right? I want to be like, wow, this is so cool what you made, right? And they reply with a little thank you. And then randomly they're following me. It's like, oh my God, oh, you know, terrifying. But very nice way to, you know, meet people that way. Okay, this is going to sound really cliche. I am so sorry. But something people want, and that you should want as well, is passion. Do you love it or do you hate it? Do you want to make, because I've seen this, unironically, do you just want to make money with art? Like, oh, furries have a lot of money, I should draw furry porn. If that's your motivation, I was almost going to say, fuck you, but that's going to be a little mean. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. People can see that shit, dude. Like, I'm sure everyone has seen a streamer, a YouTuber, an artist that talk in such a way where it's like, you don't mean any of the shit you're saying right now. You know what I mean? And we don't like that. We want someone who's real. And you should do that to yourself too. You should be real. Because if you're not passionate, you're gonna lose fuel really fast. And I mean, even if you are passionate, you might still have that, of course. So take breaks, please take breaks. But caring actually about what you do is important. It's so important. And I feel like, you know, especially for something like live streaming, people will know when you're being genuine, right? If you're just sitting in the tub, chewing gum, you know, like just kind of sitting there doing nothing. Wow, oh, you love your craft. Oh, that's awesome. Not so much. So, you know, if you genuinely have a good time, people will notice. And then last but not least, stay inspired. It is really easy to get burned out, right? Art can feel like you have to fucking constantly pump out things to stay in the algorithm, keep up with trends, you know what I mean? Which, by the way, why is that fucking Twilight Trixie thing all over my feed recently? I saw the thing. I mean, it was well made, very nice, very cool creator, but also a lot of fart jokes.
Fart are funny.
No, and it's. I feel like that's a good thing to keep up with, right? And if you're like feeling dried out, art block, stuff like that, go back to why you loved creating in the first place. Look at art, shows. There's probably one we can all think of right now. Maybe an old place you used to go, an old game you used to play. Go back to those and rediscover, right? Don't keep pumping art out when you're dried out. It's going to become a burden, and it's going to like get on your nerves. It is not worth it. There was something else I was going to say. I guess overall, just in general, take care of yourself. Find what you care about. Create for the sake of it. And don't give in to corporate greed, okay? Don't give in to the fucking capitalist social media scams. It is ass. It is not worth it. Do what makes you feel good. Go to the platforms that make you feel good. Don't feel necessarily pushed to do everything, right? You don't need every platform ever. Just do what feels good to you. And just keep at it. Thank you for listening. If anyone has any questions, go ahead.
Yeah, the whole blue sky thing, right? Because how viable would you say that direction is right now? Because I've sort of noticed the whole, oh no, Twitter's burning, go to blue sky. Oh no, Twitter's burning, go to co-host. Oh, no, like, and they all sort of crash and burn, and because the community doesn't go there, right? It's a bunch of artists, it's a bunch of creators that go there, but there's no one to see the stuff you make rather than other artists, which is great and fun, but doesn't really contribute financially.
Yeah, if you're in a marketing, like I'm in a marketing program, right? No one knows anything about these fucking things happening on X. They don't know about the, oh, he's removing the block button. Wah! You know, like, and everyone starts moving. You're not moving. I'm sorry, like, I mean, if you're hated Twitter, like, before that, you might be moving and disappearing forever, but, like, if you didn't, you'll probably be back. It's just kind of a trend to hop on, but I feel like for Blue Sky, it is very much growing, for sure, and it is just a good thing to just hop on and just make it very easy, you know, just start posting a little bit with the hashtags, which is very nice to be discovered. But don't like put your, what is the term, put your in one basket? Your eggs in one basket, yeah. So it's like X is, I don't think it's going anywhere. I think people like to like overestimate what's going to happen to that platform. Is it going to be in hot shit? Yes. Might the EU get involved? Yes. Might it be removed from the App Store? Also yes. But it's, you know, like it will probably bounce back. It's too big to just kind of immediately explode. So just kind of, I would advise just step onto the ship, but you know, keep it low maintenance. Don't stress it. It can seem really demotivating to like be like, oh my god, all my followers are gone. Like I just hit 10K and it's like 200 followers. Awesome, you know. But just going back to posting for the sake of it has helped for me at least.
Regarding Facebook, do you think that right now video content on Facebook is like actually growing audiences? Because I used to follow the tech tips on YouTube, and then it would start uploading entire episodes on Facebook, for example, and it would like garner a significant amount of interactions. So, like, do you think, in a way, Facebook can be an alternative to YouTube now, or?
Funnily enough, at the Adobe live stream I watched, believe this, guys, Facebook is growing again. I know, absurd, and the reason is Reels. It is all Reels. That Reels are so big right now that they are causing Facebook to like go back up a little bit. Is it still being used mostly by people on the older side? Yes, for sure. But if you, for example, if you make TikToks or YouTube Shorts or something like that, just post on Facebook as well. Like, you know, just copy all the hashtags and stuff and just post it everywhere and just kind of see what happens to it. But yeah, Facebook is in a very bizarre place right now.
But even for long-form content?
For long-form, I am not sure. I feel like discoverability on Facebook can be a little limited.
Yeah.
But if you have like YouTube videos and stuff, I would just post it and see what happens. Because it's usually a case of copy pasting your YouTube description and stuff.
Yeah.
So but if it takes you a lot of work, then you can try and see what happens, and then pull out if it's not good.
All right. Thank you.
For multi-platform things like Blue Sky, Twitter and stuff, and yes, I'm still saying Twitter, is reposting the same post good, or should it be like unique to the platform?
From a marketing perspective, just posting the same thing everywhere is usually what people do, yeah. So like, for example, if I have an art piece, I post it on multiple platforms, but I mean, I don't copy paste the description because one will not work on the other. But it is the same post, yeah, usually.
As someone who has dealt with burnout before, done the whole let's post a video every day and see what happens, what would you suggest as something to like get away from that?
My advice there would be to, well, first of all, if you have like a following that you communicate with, to let them know, and you will be surprised every single, at least, I'm projecting a little bit, but you'll be surprised every single time by how, you know, caring they are or patient they are. Because the average person will know that you're a person, right? Not some content machine. And after that, take a break, go to where, you know, back to where you discovered love for creating what you create, and see when the spark comes back. And maybe give yourself, like, let's say 2 weeks or something, and then see if you feel at it again. And if not, you just give another update, like, hey guys, I still need a bit more time. But being open, I think, is very good.
Tools for posting on several social media at the same time? Because I used to use Postiverb at some point, but it wasn't exactly convenient for me, especially because I remember an update that would like cause big memory issues problem on my computer. So like, I was wondering if there were like tools that were used to just make one piece of, for example, I have a piece of art, I want to upload it on Twitter, Instagram and such. Like, is there a tool that lets me create different descriptions but still upload the same image at the same time? Or
From what I know, mostly if people working in the creative or content management world, they just post manually. But to be fair, it is their job, right? It's literally what they do full time, which is crazy, by the way. Someone just does that and makes a wage off of it. But yeah, they just manually post everywhere and then apply the appropriate conventions. Okay. So that's why I recommend like finding out which, if it's too much, then finding out which platforms matter the most, and then focusing on those first before anything else. Any more questions? No? Then I want to say thank you a second time. This is my first panel.